This is Puppets by Arlie. I'm Arlie, and this is how to do a yarn hairstyle for a marionette. Here is my puppet that needs to have some hair put on her. I did not make this puppet. This puppet was made by a team of builders at the Swedish Cottage Marionette Theater. This is for an upcoming production of Wake Up Daisy, which is a show that's based off of the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale. And I am going to make some hair for her and show you the process. First, we need to find out the circumference of where the hair is. So, I'm going to trace around with, and it's about, and be sure to get the circumference down by the neck where the hair would be at the bottom. And it is 13 inches across. So I'll write that down. It'll be 13 inches around. The hairstyle we're going to do is 2 buns on top of her head. So I also need to get from forehead to the back, which is, just to have a little extra, I'm going to say it is 7 inches front to back. And then, because to make a bun, 2 buns in this case, on top of her head, we need to have enough hair to stretch up to where the bun is, and then some more to style the bun. In order to be safe and have enough, I'm going to do 12 inches in length. Keep in mind this 12 inches of length, since it's going to be doubled up and stitched on some ribbon and then folded back on itself. I don't just need 12 inches of length. I will actually need 24 inches. So, put her to the side there. This hair is going to be made out of some yarn. Now I have a piece of cardboard and I need to make 24 inches in length going around. So cut a piece of cardboard, which is 12 inches in length, so that when you wrap it around, it'll be a full 24 inches. And then of course we'll sew it on our ribbon and then fold it back on itself, and it'll be really full. So I like to use a combination of colors. It makes it have an interesting look, and look, I guess, more realistic. So, and you can of course just do it with one length or one color as well. For my first strip, it's got to go all the way around. So my first ribbon strip has to be 13 inches. So I need to do at least 13 inches of wrapping around. And heck, maybe we could just mark off 13 inches right now. So I need to cover wrapping at least that length. And then the second one that I do will be 7 inches. I'll mark that too. So when we get to wrapping there. So this is 7 inches, and the whole thing is 13 inches. And of course your wig or your yarn hair will be different. And in addition, this head is really small, and I'm doing buns. If I was to do a head of hair that was just open and flowing, the hair would sweep aside and you'd see bald spots. So not only because my head is little, I could just do one circle around and one ribbon around the back diameter. But if you might have a chance of showing the bald spots, then you also need to zigzag ribbons. Like if you have if you're working on a big Muppet style head, you need to do zigzags of additional fringe in there. But this one is pretty little, so try to use a ribbon that's nice and flexible and is of a matching color to blend in with your hair. So take your yarns and put them together, and we're going to start wrapping. Tuck it under. And then I'll get my ribbon prepared. Now I want to do, should be a little more than 13 inches, so I have some to fold under when I sew it. Then cut. All right. And I'm gonna keep this still here so that I can see where the middle is. Next, with your strips of yarn, you'll fold it over, find the middle, and then put your ribbon under your pressure foot. No yarns yet. Tie a knot. Then start laying your yarn strands under your machine. Here I'll put the needle in and put up in so that about one yarn strand is getting stitched under at a time. And needle in. Again, find where the center of your yarns are and even them out so it's one layer and press down. Stop with the needle in. And then tie a knot. Now we have a long fringe sewn to a ribbon, and then it's going to fold back on itself. So here's my 13-inch fringe that's going to go around the head. Now I'll do the 7-inch for down the back of the head. On the edge that you cut, slip your scissors under the cardboard and cut. And then also cut your ribbon. Always cut. I'm doing like an 1.5 inches lead in. So here's my ribbon for my 7-inch piece. And go ahead and sew that. Now on my longer strip, because it's going to be folded back on itself, glued to the head, I need to stitch this back so that it will be able to be glued, folding back on itself. So I need to take my fringe ribbon side out and fold it and stitch along one side so that when we glue it down, we're just gluing one layer of ribbon as opposed to worrying about the movement of 2 layers of ribbon. So take your fringe, hold it other side, set your machine so that, because this is, if you had longer tape, it wouldn't matter so much, but take your needle, whatever your setting is on your machine, and put it to the side. So I'm putting it to the side. Fold over your ribbon. Fold it in half. And stitch it down. Be sure you don't get any yarn strands caught in your seam. Now I have hair coming out of a ribbon that's folded and stitched together, and this can be glued directly onto the head. Now we glue on the hair. So first, take your long circumference fringe and we're going to make a line along where the hair should be glued. Now, this puppet had a different set of hair on, so I have some old glue marks to follow by. But basically you draw a hairline. And then also we want to draw a diameter line, because we're going to be drawing, or we're going to be gluing to that as well. I'm making it really light, but it's there. Okay, then pick your best side and find a halfway mark. So fold it in half and pencil mark the center. So this is the side that's going to be glued down. So I often use hot melt glue for this process. However, I don't always trust hot melt glue. It is better if you have time to use a more sturdy glue like Magnatac, or even like a wood or white glue, but then you have to do your hair gluing over a long period of time. So the benefit of hot melt glue is it makes it so that we can do the whole process in one sitting because it dries so quickly. But be forewarned that hot glue is not the most effective at sticking. Okay. So we begin. Get some glue on there. And stick it down. Make sure you're really folding back that ribbon so that we see this nice fold against with the yarns fluffing up and folding over the hairline. And watch out, be sure that you don't glue your hair over your head string. And then with this extra little dab of ribbon, I'm gonna put a dab of glue and fold it up under there. So now we've glued our fringe around the circumference of the head. Next, we will glue this back centerpiece around the back. So my centerpiece turned out a little bit long, so I'm going to start out with folding the front a bit under. And this as well. And fold it up under a little bit so some of the fringes are up underneath. It should fit my length. All right. Now it's time to style the hair. Now, one of the difficult things about styling yarn hair is that it doesn't behave the same way as human hair. It's very bulky. It doesn't like smooth out. So the style that I have to do for this character is like 2 buns, like messy top knot buns on either side of her head. And then I got to have these wispies coming down in front. So first I'm going to start with making two buns on top of the head. So I pulled out my wispies, and these will need to be styled and stitched into place, but take little pieces and put some twists into them. So I got a twist here in the front. And some twists. That's one side. And you don't have to do this, but I feel like it makes it look a little bit more three-dimensional. Then I have some rubber bands here. I'm going to pull it together. And do a ponytail. Next, take the other side and do a ponytail as well. When you do a ponytail out of yarn, it tends to be very thick. So that is one of the difficulties of yarn hair. Now, to make a ponytail tighter, you pull either side of it and pull against it. And so I need to make these ponytails on the same plane as one another. So, in fact, just for working, let me ponytail this off, the wispies. And these are just plain rubber bands. These aren't specific hair rubber bands. Okay, check the back, make sure that it looks about right. I think it's important to take pieces and pull a little bit. That kind of gives it more of a curly look. Take some of the pieces and pull them out. Each side, I'm going to tie it together with some marionette string, because the rubber bands will degrade over time. And to make a tough knot that will hold, do 2 unders, so you go under and over once, and then under and over twice. And then pull that in tight, tight, tight. And again. And then do a few knots. I did 5 knots. The other side. Under over once, under over twice. Pull tight, tight, tight. And then take a hot glue and put a tiny dab of hot glue. She needs to have these kind of messy top knots, and the problem is this bulk. If I did a bun with this amount of bulk, it would be bigger than her head, and that's a good look if that's what you're going, a nice cartoonish look. But the reference photo I have is of a real person, and so it needs to, the buns need to be not as big as her whole head. So we have to now reduce some bulk. So my little buns here, that is probably about right. I'm taking some yarn from the front. So these will be my strands that will create the little knot bun. And then I need some strands just in case to cover up this black thread. So what I will do is I will take it from the back, I guess. I'm no expert on this styling, you know, it's puppet building. You're figuring out how to do things on the fly, especially if you don't have the opportunity to make a whole mock-up puppet beforehand. Okay. So I'm going to take some strands. Let's get one of each color and wrap it around. And I will tie knots in the back. So that it covers up my black fiber, or my black, what the heck is that called? Marionette string, of course. Okay, let's do it on this side. Do, 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 do. I'm just trying to get one of each of my 3 tricolors here. Okay. I have my 2 pieces for the buns, to make little buns on the top. Now I'm going to, this is a little scary, but that's what puppet building is all about. Doing something a little bit scary. Take and cut. Oh, I need more serious scissors. What am I doing? Okay. Yep. All right. And cut. I need to make them to be kind of a messy bun. And so, I'm going to do a quick experiment here. I wonder if I just take the front and fold it over the back, if that'll create a messy bun look. It's not bad. Maybe if I twist it. Oh, it seems to be a little better with a twist in. Okay, so that's what we'll do. At the edge, we'll do one twist and get attached in the back. Another piece of marionette string here. And I got the glue going here. You can also use any type of glue you got. But gluing the knots is always a nice practice. Plenty of extra strands over here. Now let's see here. We twist it once and twice. Okay. Let's see here now. Put it up under itself. Some pins going here. Try to use pins that aren't yellow so that you can see it. Now, I am a firm believer that puppets should not wear wigs. They should have stylized yarn hair. I think it looks cuter, or fur hair. And I think also like real wigs sometimes lead to like the fibers of the wig getting caught on the puppet's face. And so if you want to comment down below on the very heated argument of whether or not puppets should be wearing real wigs or have yarn hair, join it. Okay. That seems like the look. Now, stitch it in place. This is just some regular old sewing thread that kind of matches some of the fibers in there. Now, maybe I should add that I do think it's okay if puppets wear wigs if it's like up and off and out of their face. I just hate when it gets stuck to their face when you're performing. Okay. Here's a little trick. You're going to do a double thread through, tie your knot, and then I'm just going to start doing a whip stitch. Get a curved needle. That always helps. And because it's hard for a thread knot to catch onto yarn, take your thread, your double thread, separate it, and then put your needle through. And then the thread can hold on to a loop of itself. And it makes it all better. So, same thing, add some twisting. So we're going to add twisting, and then we're going to kind of pull it up and out. so that it's, oh, and then also we're going to tack stitch it. So we're twisting, and then we're going to tack stitch with it, not pulling taut, but like a little looser. So I'm just going to neck stitch a little spot above where the ear connects. Tack stitch means you just do a few stitches in a specific place and pull it down. And of course, our head strings must be clear and out of the way, which they are. Okay. Now, she needs to have these wispies on the side. And not totally sure how to do this, but here we go. I imagine well, in the picture, they come down to chest level. So we'll start there. And then we'll make some face framing layers, meaning some shorter ones in the front around the face. Maybe some more here. Let's see. I'm sure there's someone watching who like really knows how to style hair and they're just like screaming. Okay, well maybe even a teeny bit shorter in front to like see hairdressers doing this. They're always making sure it's even. Okay. I'm gonna call it done. And there you have it. That's how to create a hairstyle for a marionette out of yarn. Thanks for watching.